Say one more thing rather explosively.
It began like any other slow afternoon in Beverly Hills. Sunlight spilling across polished glass towers, cameras flashing at random corners, and a quiet sense that something dramatic was always about to happen. But no one expected that an old confrontation from 2018 would explode back into public view 7 years later, shaking one of the biggest names in music. The headlines came fast. Security guard sues Cardi B for $24 million, claims assault outside doctor's office. Within hours, news vans lined Wilshire Boulevard. Paparazzi camped outside the courthouse. Bloggers dissected every rumor.
I want to say one more thing rather explosively. 3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from...
And fans flooded social media with questions. What really happened that afternoon between Cardi B and a woman named Imani Ellis? Was it an argument blown out of proportion, or something much darker hidden behind celebrity glamour? Imani Ellis was once a quiet, hard-working security guard. Friends said she took pride in her job, keeping order, staying invisible. But when she walked into court that August morning in 2025, she wasn't invisible anymore. Cameras followed her every step. The former guard suddenly thrust into a legal battle against a global superstar. In her lawsuit, Ellis claimed that Cardi B had assaulted her outside a Beverly Hills medical office back in 2018, leaving her humiliated.
The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me. Okay? He did not express that to me. So I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people. And I am saying this because I hope that these people who I think are good will be inspired to come forward with that. Again, those conversations I had were off record. I honor that. If I say it's off record, it stays off record. But I'm hoping that watching what I am doing and feeling the energy that is rising across the world for people who want to know what the heck happened at 9/10, that, you know, they will be brave and they will say, yeah, Charlie did, the day before he died, think that he was going to be killed, and maybe tell us, who is they? Well, for once and for all, who is they? Who is the they that he thought were going to kill him?
Scarred and struggling to move forward. According to court documents, what started as a simple misunderstanding over filming inside the clinic quickly escalated. Ellis said Cardi B became enraged when asked to stop recording. Words turned sharp, tempers flared, and then, she alleged, the rapper spat on her and scratched her face with a long acrylic nail. Ellis described feeling small, powerless, and terrified, saying the encounter destroyed her confidence and her career. For Cardi B, the story sounded absurd. She denied every accusation, no spitting, no hitting, no contact at all. She said Ellis was the one who caused the disturbance, filming her while she was pregnant and visiting a doctor. For me, Cardi told the court, it wasn't an incident. Her legal team argued that Ellis's claims were exaggerated, maybe even fabricated, a desperate attempt to cash in on fame years later. But as the trial opened, it became clear this wasn't just about money. It was about truth, memory, and the blurred line between public image and private reality. On day 1, the courtroom was electric. Ellis took the stand, voice trembling as she recounted the moment. She said Cardi B lunged toward her. She spat on me, Ellis told the jury. She called me names I can't repeat. I felt her nail on my cheek. She described panic flooding her body and the humiliation of being attacked while simply doing her.
The plane that people have recognized is military. That's tail number N1098L. So this plane left from Texas, went over to Utah right about the time that Charlie got assassinated. It dipped real low. It seemed like who knows what this plane was being sent there for, but the fact that this plane had been used in the military rightfully alerted people to the fact that they may have had some knowledge. This plane may have had some knowledge of what was going to occur. But one thing I want to clarify for you is that that plane was being contracted. You guys noticed that it was owned by LaSalle Aviation LLC. We are awaiting more information, but I just wanted to let you know that you recognize that. It is strange. It did happen. There's no question. I've been saying from the beginning, this was a military operation. It's very obvious. the more you peel back the onion, it is very obvious this was a military operation. So it's fitting that you would have a plane that the military certainly used.
Job. Her lawyers asked for $24 million in damages, compensation, they said, for emotional trauma, lost income, and permanent facial injuries that required surgery. Cardi B sat at the defense table in a tailored suit, expression unreadable, occasionally whispering to her attorney. Day 2 brought a shift in tone. Cardi B herself took the stand, her voice firm but controlled.
There was no fight, she said.
She was trying to film me without permission. I asked her to stop. That's all. The rapper explained that she was several months pregnant at the time, more concerned for her safety than anything else. I wasn't angry, she said softly. I was concerned because this girl looked like she wanted to hurt me.
The other thing, they said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not gonna fit. Not gonna fit.
In a backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof. What? This story is horseshit. Like none of these things make any sense to me. Like you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like that's insane. So he's on the roof, he shoots, he jumps from the roof. He jumps down 14 feet.
The exchange grew tense when the opposing lawyer pressed her. Do you admit you were a visitor in that building? A guest? Yes, Cardi replied. And do you admit there was a disturbance? She started the disturbance. Cardi shot back. The room fell silent. Then came one of the strangest moments of the trial, Cardi's demonstration. She held her hands up for the jury, showing her fingernails. Look, she said, less than an inch long. There's no way I could scratch someone's face that bad. Her lawyer reinforced the point, noting that no photos from 2018 showed any visible injury on Ellis. Witnesses followed. A receptionist named Tiara.
There was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place, and then he did this at this thing. Right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child porn right away.
Described seeing the argument, but insisted nothing physical happened. I got between them, she testified. There was shouting, yes, but I didn't see anyone touch anyone. Tiara also revealed that months after the incident, Ellis contacted her, asking her to back up the assault story. I refused, Tiara said, because that's not what I saw. Still, Ellis's team pushed back. They showed photos, medical reports, and tearful testimony about emotional distress. Her mother appeared briefly on the stand, describing how her daughter became withdrawn after the confrontation. She wasn't the same.
Most interest to me, what I've learned, is that his father does not believe, his parents don't believe that their son committed this crime. I was like, huh? Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in, because this guy, you know, this mysterious guy was a friend and just had a connection with Tyler. And eventually they said, you got to do the right thing here. We know this is you. That was the vibe. Certainly, that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up.
She told jurors. She stopped going out. She was scared of being recognized. Outside the courthouse, the case became a cultural flashpoint. Supporters of Cardi B argued she was being targeted because of her fame and outspoken nature. Others said it showed how power can silence everyday workers when they challenge celebrities. Hashtags trended for days. Hashtag Justice for Ellis and hashtag Stand with Cardi battling for dominance. Behind the noise, the jury listened. They watched every expression, every hesitation, trying to decide who is telling the truth. And as the first week ended, one question hung in the air.
Oh, it's one thing if your husband dies, period. It's another thing if your husband dies at age 31, unexpectedly. It's another thing if your 31-year-old husband unexpectedly dies because he gets publicly executed with blood gushing out in front of thousands of people screaming and running away. That's like something that...
If no one had actually seen an assault, could words and emotion alone prove guilt? By day 3, Cardi B's doctor, Dr. Finca, testified. Calm and precise, he said he was standing just a few feet away during the argument. "I saw no injuries on Ms. Ellis," he told the court. "There was yelling, yes, but no physical contact." The opposing attorney accused him of bias. After all, Cardi B was his patient, but he pushed back firmly. "I canceled all my appointments today to testify. I'm here because I saw what happened." The tension was palpable. Reporters typed furiously. Spectators leaned forward.
She said she doesn't believe Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson because Kirk appeared to her in a dream. Yeah, this is what I want to get to real quick.
Said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. I sure hope if I was assassinated in front of the world that he would raise hell to figure out what actually took place in that day. That's not being a friend. Friend is not someone who stays silent when lies are being told by the federal government. That's not a friend. Again, emotionally manipulated.
Even the judge seemed aware that this wasn't just a legal dispute. It was theater, morality, and media spectacle wrapped into one. When closing arguments began, Ellis's lawyer appealed to emotion. "This is about accountability," he told jurors. "Celebrities don't get to mistreat working people and walk away." Cardi's attorney countered, "This case is built on assumption and attention, not evidence. You heard witnesses. You saw no proof of assault." As the lights dimmed in the courtroom,
It just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's awful.
And is he dead?
That's what was just
One of the guys out there just said it was
spoken
confirmed that
in
he's
the
dead.
in the lobby was just
I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that's confirmed.
Whoa.
murder for having a different opinion from somebody else.
Yeah.
Different ideology from somebody.
that Friday afternoon, the judge thanked both sides and told the jury they would return next week for final instructions. Outside, reporters swarmed again, shouting questions Cardi B ignored as she climbed into a black SUV. For Imani Ellis, the wait would be agonizing. For Cardi B, the verdict could either clear her name or stain it forever. And for the rest of us watching, through screens, tweets, and late-night talk shows, it was another reminder of how fame turns private moments into public trials, where truth often competes with perception.
Questions, turning point. Answering the questions is what he was doing in the second that he died, okay? And we all are feeling spiritually the same way, so I'm just gonna say it. They're not grieving right. Not up to us to decide how people grieve, but I will say unequivocally that you shouldn't grieve by lying or by gaslighting. Is that fair? Can we all agree? You should not grieve by lying and gaslighting the public.
You had a bunch of, if you're gonna kill a guy, you had a bunch of other wacky shit that doesn't make any sense, and you spam it out there at the same time. You leave a gun that didn't do it out in the woods. You do a bunch of shit like that.
The courtroom was silent when the jurors filed back in. You could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone. After 6 long days of testimony, contradictions, and emotional outbursts, it all came down to this. Cardi B sat motionless at the defense table, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Across the room, Imani Ellis clutched her attorney's hand, her eyes glassy, exhausted from the emotional toll of the trial. Cameras weren't allowed inside, but the tension was so thick that even the muffled clicks of pens seemed loud. The foreperson stood. The judge asked the question everyone had been waiting for. "Has the jury reached a verdict?" "Yes, Your Honor, we have." Reporters leaned forward. The entire courtroom seemed to hold its breath. When the verdict was read aloud, gasps echoed through the room. Cardi B, not guilty of assault. The plaintiff's claims, dismissed in full. For a moment, silence. Then a low hum of whispers spread like wildfire. Cardi closed her eyes, her shoulders dropping as if years of tension had just been lifted. Her attorney placed a hand on her back, whispering, "It's over." Across the aisle, Amani Ellis froze. Her expression was blank, her lawyer staring at the verdict papers in disbelief. The 24